Hannah Arendt, a profound political theorist, escaped Nazi Germany and found refuge in the U.S., shaping her insights on power and evil. Her works, like challenge us to confront human nature and the potential for ordinary individuals to commit evil. Arendt's coverage of Adolf Eichmann's trial led to her controversial idea of the banality of evil, suggesting ordinary people can commit atrocities. Her analysis sparked debate on moral responsibility and blind obedience. Arendt's Banality of Evil concept argued that evil could arise from thoughtlessness and conformity, not just malice. This idea challenges us to examine our own potential complicity in oppressive systems. Eichmann's trial revealed the unsettling ordinariness of evil, as Arendt observed his detachment and lack of moral reflection. Her insights became the foundation for her influential book on the banality of evil. Eichmann's defense of just following orders intrigued Arendt, highlighting the dangers of thoughtless obedience. Her analysis challenges the notion of evil as inherently monstrous, suggesting it can be mundane and bureaucratic. Arendt's concept of the banality of evil questioned the stereotype of evildoers as monstrous, suggesting ordinary people can commit horrific acts. Her work emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and moral judgment. Arendt's exploration of totalitarianism highlights the dangers of regimes that obliterate individuality and use terror to control. Her analysis warns against the seductive appeal of simplistic ideologies and the erosion of democratic values. Arendt distinguished between power and violence, emphasizing that true power lies in collective action and persuasion. Her work underscores the need for active citizenship to counter totalitarian tendencies. Instruments of oppression in totalitarian regimes. Surveillance and censorship maintain power and suppress dissent. Understanding these tools is crucial for resisting authoritarianism. Surveillance chills free expression and creates paranoia. Censorship shapes discourse, controlling information flow. Propaganda shapes opinion, instilling loyalty and obedience. Arendt's insights remind us to defend democratic values. Arendt's relevance in modern times. Arendt's work on power and obedience resonates today. Her insights help us understand authoritarianism and misinformation. Arendt warns of unchecked power and language manipulation. The Banality of Evil explains complicity in oppression. Her work urges us to engage and hold power accountable. All right, let's dive into systemic evil and power abuse today. Arendt's analysis of systemic evil provides a framework for understanding contemporary instances of power abuse and oppression. She recognized that evil could manifest not only in the actions of individual perpetrators, but also in the structures and systems that enable and perpetuate injustice. This understanding is crucial for addressing complex social problems and for holding institutions accountable for their role in perpetuating harm. Now, if we look around, contemporary examples of systemic evil can be seen in various forms, from institutionalized racism and discrimination to economic exploitation and environmental degradation. These systems often operate through complex networks of power and privilege, perpetuating inequalities and marginalizing vulnerable populations. Arendt's work helps us to understand how these systems function and how they can be challenged. concept of the banality of evil is particularly relevant in understanding how individuals within these systems can become complicit in perpetuating harm. Bureaucratic procedures, institutional norms, and the diffusion of responsibility can create an environment where individuals may participate in unjust practices without fully grappling with the moral implications of their actions. Arendt's insights challenge us to examine our own roles within these systems and to resist the temptation to abdicate personal responsibility. Her work reminds us that addressing systemic evil requires not only holding individual perpetrators accountable, but also dismantling the structures and systems that enable injustice. This requires critical examination of institutional practices, challenging established norms, and advocating for systemic change. Her writings provide a framework for understanding the complex dynamics of power and oppression, and for working towards a more just and equitable world. Case studies. Echoes of Arendt's insights. Arendt's theories find resonance in numerous contemporary case studies, offering a lens through which to analyze complex situations of power abuse and systemic injustice. From the corporate malpractices that led to the 2008 financial crisis to the ongoing struggles against systemic racism and police brutality, Arendt's insights provide a framework for understanding the dynamics of these events and for identifying potential pathways towards change. The case of the 2008 financial crisis, for example, illustrates how bureaucratic structures and the diffusion of responsibility can contribute to systemic harm. The complex financial instruments and regulatory failures that led to the crisis highlight the potential for individuals within the system to become complicit in harmful practices without fully understanding the consequences of their actions. Arendt's work helps us to understand how such systems can emerge and how they can be challenged. The ongoing struggle against systemic racism and police brutality also resonates with Arendt's insights. The disproportionate targeting of minority communities by law enforcement reflects a systemic problem that goes beyond the actions of individual officers. Arendt's work helps us to understand how such systems of oppression can become embedded within institutions and how they can be resisted. Examining these case studies through the lens of Arendt's theories allows for a deeper understanding of the complex interplay of individual actions, institutional structures, and societal norms in perpetuating injustice. Her work provides a framework for analyzing these situations, identifying points of intervention, and working towards more just and equitable outcomes. Arendt's legacy lies not only in her insightful analysis of the past, but also in her enduring relevance to the challenges of our time. Authority and obedience, a complex relationship. Hannah Arendt delved into the intricate relationship between authority and obedience, exploring the psychological and social mechanisms that can lead individuals to comply with even the most unjust or immoral directives. She argued that true authority, based on legitimacy and consent, differs fundamentally from mere coercion or domination. Understanding this distinction is crucial for fostering responsible citizenship and resisting the dangers of blind obedience. Arendt emphasized the importance of critical thinking and moral judgment in navigating the complexities of authority. She argued that individuals have a responsibility to question authority and to resist directives that violate their conscience or undermine fundamental human values. Blind obedience, she warned, can lead to complicity in injustice and erode the foundations of a free and democratic society. The dangers of unchecked authority are particularly evident in totalitarian regimes, where the state exerts absolute control over all aspects of life. In such systems, individuals are often pressured to conform to the regime's dictates, even if they privately dissent. This can create a climate of fear and self-censorship, where critical thinking and independent judgment become increasingly rare. Arendt's work serves as a warning against the seductive nature of authority and the importance of maintaining a critical distance from those in power. Arendt's analysis of authority and obedience remains relevant in contemporary society, where individuals are constantly confronted with directives from various sources, including governments, corporations, and social institutions. Her work reminds us of the importance of cultivating critical thinking skills and maintaining a strong moral compass in navigating these complex relationships. By engaging in thoughtful deliberation and resisting the temptation to blindly follow orders, individuals can contribute to a more just and democratic world. Authority often carries with it a certain allure, a seductive power that can draw individuals into compliance even when their conscience or critical judgment might dictate otherwise. Arendt explored this phenomenon, examining the psychological and social mechanisms that make authority so compelling. She argued that the desire for belonging, the fear of social ostracism, and the perceived legitimacy of authority figures can all contribute to blind obedience. The allure of authority can be particularly strong in situations of uncertainty or crisis, when individuals may feel a heightened need for guidance and direction. In such circumstances, the pronouncements of authority figures can offer a sense of security and reassurance, even if those pronouncements lack a sound basis in reason or evidence. This can lead individuals to suspend their critical judgment and to accept directives without question. Arendt's analysis of the seductive nature of authority is particularly relevant in the age of social media and misinformation, where individuals are constantly bombarded with claims and pronouncements from a variety of sources. The ability to critically evaluate information and to distinguish between credible sources and purveyors of misinformation is essential for navigating this complex landscape. Arendt's work reminds us that authority is not inherently good or bad, but rather a tool that can be used for both just and unjust purposes. The key lies in our ability to critically evaluate authority figures and their directives, to resist the temptation to blindly follow orders, and to uphold our own moral compass. By cultivating critical thinking skills and maintaining a healthy skepticism towards authority, we can safeguard against the dangers of blind obedience and contribute to a more just and democratic society. The importance of critical thinking and moral judgment. Hannah Arendt stressed the importance of critical thinking and moral judgment against blind obedience and authority. It requires questioning authority and engaging in independent thought. Critical thinking involves analyzing information and challenging assumptions. Moral judgment distinguishes right from wrong and aligns with one's values. It requires standing up for beliefs even under pressure. Arendt's work reminds us these skills must be cultivated to resist blind obedience. The legacy of Hannah Arendt. Arendt's work shapes our understanding of political life and the human condition. Her exploration of totalitarianism warns against unchecked power and simplistic ideologies. The Banality of Evil shows how ordinary people can become complicit in atrocities. Arendt's legacy urges us to think critically and engage in creating a just world. Human responsibility and the prevention of evil. Arendt emphasized individual action to prevent evil, urging critical thinking and resistance to unjust authority. she highlighted the danger of conformity and the importance of personal responsibility. Her analysis of Eichmann's trial showed how thoughtlessness can lead to complicity. Arendt's work reminds us to be active agents against injustice. By thinking critically and participating politically, we can prevent past horrors. Arendt's enduring relevance. Hannah Arendt's work remains strikingly relevant in the 21st century, offering a framework for understanding contemporary challenges and inspiring action against injustice. Her insights into the nature of totalitarianism, the dynamics of power, and the potential for ordinary individuals to become complicit in evil resonate with contemporary concerns about the rise of authoritarianism, the spread of misinformation, and the erosion of democratic norms. Arendt's analysis of totalitarian regimes provides a lens through which to examine contemporary political phenomena, from the rise of populist movements to the increasing surveillance and control exercised by governments and corporations. Her focus on the dangers of unchecked power, the manipulation of language, and the suppression of dissent resonates with concerns about the fragility of freedom in the digital age. The concept of the banality of evil remains a powerful tool for understanding how individuals can become entangled in systems of oppression, whether it be through bureaucratic indifference, corporate greed, or the uncritical acceptance of harmful social norms. Arendt's work challenges us to examine our own roles within these systems and to resist the temptation to abdicate personal responsibility. Arendt's enduring legacy lies not only in her insightful analysis of the past, but also in her ability to inspire action in the present. Her work reminds us that we are not simply passive observers of political events, but active agents who have a responsibility to shape the world around us. By engaging in critical thinking, upholding our moral compass, and actively participating in the pursuit of a more just and democratic future, we can honor Arendt's legacy and contribute to a world where the horrors of the past are less likely to be repeated.